Like I was that kid.
Yeah.
I was playing out.
Me too.
Majority of my neighbors were boys, so I'm outside playing basketball in the
Wow.
street, playing football.
Wow.
500. This tells my age.
Hey.
You know, learning how to throw football, baseball, everything.
Wow.
Riding my bike, like, you know, the neighborhood that I lived in was really, it was a community, and all of us that lived there, we all went to the same elementary school, and some of us went to the same middle school.
Wow.
So when it came to my fitness journey now and how the mental aspect of it, I had a lot of trouble with my anger. I wasn't an angry person, but like I said, pray with me, don't play with me.
Hey, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And so I lacked discipline in controlling my anger. I lacked discipline in setting boundaries with people. Like I wasn't scared of confrontation, but sometimes there has to be a point of when is too much confrontation too much. Like you can't always be on go.
Yeah.
Like granted, I can go from 0 to 100 and I'm ready. I stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready. But in the aspect of changing for your mental, fitness helps if you're lacking in those areas, you know. And I love to coincide my fitness and faith. Ooh. And I won't say technically religion, because there's so many different religious beliefs, but everybody has a faith system and something that they believe in. Doesn't matter what religion you are, what denomination you belong to. If you don't have faith that you can do it, you won't do it. And fitness has definitely taught me discipline, because at the end of the day, when I walk into that gym, I can't hide, because there are mirrors everywhere. There are mirrors everywhere. So I'm looking at myself constantly. I'm looking at my lack of discipline. I'm looking at my lack of self-control. I'm looking at my lack of self-love, if that's what you struggle with. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't one that was, that had low self-esteem issues. I had my fair share, you know, just dealing with body image and wanting to be like, okay, well, I don't need your little sly comments as my friend, or backhanded comments. I don't need none of that. But then also, if you know I'm trying to be on a diet and I'm trying to get my mind right, don't offer me a full stack of pancakes, because you know I'm gonna eat them.
Hey, they'll try to sabotage you. Your friend, especially your friend.
And listen, I done came across a few videos on TikTok, and one that really stood out to me. It was a man. I don't know if he's a personal trainer or not, but he looked like he could have been, but I knew he was into fitness because he worked out. And he said you have to find somebody that's going to support you in your journey. And he was speaking from relationship aspects, meaning that if a man had met you bigger and that's what he likes, when you start losing weight, if that's not what he's into, he'll sabotage you. You got to find people that are going to support you.
Facts. Oh, that's facts. That's facts.
And I am not a person. I don't do workout partners. I don't do accountability partners. I don't do any of that, because every time I have tried to bring people on board, I've always been left behind, or somebody has fallen off. And then it's like you're stuck, like, okay, but you're supposed to be my accountability partner. And now I'm doing this by myself. And now when I get weak or I get tired, I don't want to do it. And you're supposed to push me as I push you. And now I've slipped back and fallen into my old ways. Facts. And now I got to start over.
Now you got to start over. Yeah.
So I don't encourage accountability partners unless you and your accountability partner are on the same page.
Yeah.
Granted, not everybody's goals are going to be different, but if you guys are on the same page, I am all for accountability partners. But if not, you need to hold yourself accountable. You need to learn how to hold yourself accountable.
Facts.
And that's period, point blank, because when everybody leaves, it's just you.
It's just you. That's, in all honesty, that's one of the reasons why I love doing home workouts. is because a lot of times, you know, when I feel like when if a person goes to the gym, not saying that everyone that goes to the gym does this, but a lot of people that go to the gym, I'm sure in some sense they get pleasure out of other people seeing them work out. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it being a matter of you doing it because you doing it even when no one is around you or no eyes are around you. I feel like that's when you truly know that you not only love doing what you're doing, but you have a discipline to it.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because you could do it when no one else is clapping or praising you.
And that's true. And, you know, when the lockdown happened, I remember the day the gym closed here, March 16th, 2020.
Wow, you read?
Because I took a progress video and I was starting to see leg definition in my quads.
Oh, wow.
So, and I heard over the intercom as I was taking this video, they said, we have an emergency closure. The gym will be closing at 3 p.m. And I was like, oh my God. And so I got on social media.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I have like 15 pounds and 10 pounds and 5 pounds. I need a bar.
Damn, why I just broke up.
Barbell. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
But I'm like, does somebody have a barbell I can borrow? Does somebody have?
You're asking people?
Yeah, and a lot of my cousins and people came through for me.
Wow.
But for the audience listening, if you are trying to get into fitness, I say this with all due respect: find somebody that's been to jail.
Hey, that's so true.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna explain why. Because
explain this.
A lot of my cousins that have been to jail, they already have weights and stuff at home because it was a way of life for them. Yep. You only got you got 3 things to do in jail: you sleep, you go read, or you work out.
Yep.
And if you're not into calisthenics and they start lifting, somebody that has been to jail will always have a weight set. They will have a pair of dumbbells. They will have a barbell. They will have something. So I ended up borrowing a barbell. I still have it because I still use it at home on the days that I don't feel like going to the gym. And, you know, now that the weather is starting to warm up amidst the snow, I love working out outside.
Well, oh yeah, I saw that. I saw your street pull up that you were doing on the streets. I was like, she on the street doing this stuff.
I love working out outside. It is like, I love working out outside. And that was literally my goal during the lockdown because I was already 23 pounds down before the lockdown happened. And I was like, I don't want to gain the weight back.
Yeah.
So what do?
Yeah.
I work out at home. And, you know, I'm not a runner. I love walking around my neighborhood because my neighborhood has been, I've literally seen my neighborhood change from the time I was little growing up to now. When I was younger,
trying to act up again. I don't know why this thing keeps freezing. Come on now. There we go. I think you're back.
Okay. But a lot of the celebrations like Juneteenth and things like that were held in the area that I live in. And now they still do it, but it's not as big as it was. And walking around my neighborhood, I've seen new restaurants that I've never seen before.
Wow.
I've seen like art places pop up, like, you know, things that are family oriented. That's something that I'm like, okay, that wasn't there a few years ago. So let me check it out, see what it's about.
Yeah.
And I even found a new walking route just recently.
Oh, wow.
I'm close to the baseball stadium. So it's like, I'm literally walking distance from the downtown Denver area. If I choose to. So it's like finding new routes to go to get in a few miles in and walking out. I love it. I love walking.
Me too.
In summertime.
Me too.
It's relaxing.
It's therapeutic.
Something. You get to meet people, you get to see people, you get to see your surroundings and see what's in your area, what's changed, what's new, what is still here, what's not there anymore. So I encourage walking, and that's honestly what I did during the lockdown. And I would actually get up and walk twice. So I would get up early morning about 6:30 before the sun was coming up and right before it would get hot. And then I would take an evening walk.
Wow.
And I would take my daughter with me because we didn't have nothing but time.
Yeah.
So I would work out in my front yard. Excuse me. I would work out in my front yard, and, you know, people would pass by like, yeah, I'm like, look, I'm on a journey and I don't want to go backwards.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that this journey would open up more doors than I'd ever imagined. You know, I haven't returned back to corporate work since 2018. And, you know, with my journey and sharing my journey, I've shared the ugly, I've shared the good, I've shared the bad. And I wouldn't technically call it bad or the ugly sides of fitness, but I would just say the more challenging sides that is not talked about enough. I dealt with binge eating.
Oh, wow. Wow. Really?
I've dealt with a little bit of body dysmorphia. And I have combat body dysmorphia, which I'm seeing a lot more people are coming out about.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's really easy to get over.
Share that a little bit. Yeah. How did you?
So with body dysmorphia, I have scoliosis. So I knew something was wrong when I hit puberty when I was 13.
Yeah.
Because I was an obsessed teenager in the mirror. Yeah. Like, you know, I was an obsessed teenager in the mirror, and I noticed that one of my hips set higher. So when I started my fitness journey, my heaviest was 230 pounds. And I can dissect that a little bit more on how I gained the weight. But I knew then that I had some aches and pains. And from the scoliosis, I was dealing with chronic back pain, even from a young age. And after having a baby, it didn't make it no better. And then gaining weight didn't make it no better. So I knew that I wanted to lose some of the pressure that was on my body.
Yeah.
So with scoliosis, and I got diagnosed properly, went to a primary care physician, and then they recommended physical therapy. So I did physical therapy for 6 months. And after physical therapy, along with still continuing lifting, I haven't dealt with chronic back pain since 2019.
Wow, man.
Like the only kind of pain that I have is like from muscle soreness from working out, depending on how hard I trained. And I know not everybody can have the same story depending on the severity of your scoliosis. I believe I have 2 C curves in my back. Wow. So I'm literally like this.
Wow.
Like one of my shoulders sit higher, one of my legs are longer, one of my arms are longer, and one of my hips sit higher. And as I'm starting to lean out, it's a little bit more noticeable. But one thing that I quit doing, I quit posting angled progress pictures. I quit posting the good angles. I quit posting my good side. Because and even when I go to the gym, and you know I do what makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're constantly in a pose state, you're never gonna like what you see relaxed.
So facts.
Like you're never gonna be satisfied. You're never gonna like what you see relaxed. So even when I share my own journey, I try to post the most unflattering picture I can to let you know that it's real.
Yeah.
You know, I am, even when I was skinny, I never carried a lot of body fat in my upper body. I was always lower body dominant. So even as I'm building muscle, I still have cellulite. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Exactly.
Like I had it when I was skinny. That's okay.
That's okay.
I didn't like, and you know, the misconception that A lot of people who are smaller have muscle definition. I didn't.
Exactly.
I didn't have muscle definition when I was thinner.
Yeah.
I didn't have no legs. I had everything else, but I had no legs.
Wow, I would have thought you were lying there. That's crazy.
I had no legs.
Wow.
So as my fitness journey continued and I started really thinking about what do I want my body to look like? I want to look like I ran track. I want to look like I played some kind of sport in college and tell people, no, it's from weightlifting. This is from lifting weights. And
look at you, yeah.
And, and with body dysmorphia, I tell people it's okay to give a relaxed pose.
Yep.
It's okay to actually show what you look like. Because like I said, if you're constantly in a pose state, if I'm constantly flexing, and then when I'm not flexing, I'm like, well, where did my bicep go?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm constantly showing my good angle, well, how come I don't look like that when I'm just standing there, or if somebody else takes the picture of me? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, I have scoliosis. I know my body's not going to look like the next person.
Right.
And honestly, I feel like body dysmorphia for me developed when I had my daughter, after, and I was about 21, 22. So have you always lived in Georgia?
Yeah. No. I was born in Tennessee, but then
That's where I want to live.
Hey,
that's where I want to go. Chattanooga has a special place in my heart.
Go ahead.
I love Chattanooga. I got to visit when I was 14. My brother-in-law is from Chattanooga.
Nice.
And I fell in love.
You say you have a brother too, right?
I have two brothers.
So
my oldest brother lives in Savannah, and my middle brother, who's the second oldest, he lives in Florida.
What's your oldest brother name?
His name is Christopher Godfrey.
Christopher Godfrey. Okay. I don't know why. When you said Savannah, I had thought of somebody that lives out there, and I was like, well, maybe. And I'm not sure if I remember your last name, but I was like, maybe I probably know him. But okay. If there's your oldest brother, they're older than you, and you're 31.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Never mind. Yeah, I thought I was like, let me ask her if I know him. Okay.
Well, if you're ever in Savannah and you take the public transportation, he's a bus driver.
Okay. Well, then I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, he's a bus driver.
Nice.
But yeah, my body dysmorphia probably started after I had my daughter, because and I'm only asking, have you lived in Georgia? And you said between Georgia and Tennessee. Yeah. So what I'm about to reference, you'll know because we're around that age mark.
Yeah.
So if you remember Black King magazine.
I do remember Black King magazine. Yeah.
Okay, so you remember when Melissa Ford came out, Buffy the Body, all of those.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And I remember this one particular model, and she was in a couple of Twisters videos, and her name is Cubana Les. I don't know if she's still modeling now, as far as like being the urban model. Yeah. But I remember, and also Jet Beauty of the Week, Ebony Magazine, and things like that. So as I got older and started seeing the models and stuff, because I would just read magazines on my lunch break and stuff like that. And back then they would put the stats of the model, of her height, her measurements, and age. Yeah. And some of them I would literally be the same stat, but did not look like them.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, so
and it froze up again.
She's 100 and
there we go.
As I was saying, I was like, well, she's 5'3", I'm 5'5.5". No, 5'4.5", 5'5". She's 163 pounds. I'm 163 pounds.
Yeah.
Her waist is a 26. My waist is a 26. Her hips are 44. My hips are 44. But why don't I look like that?
Yeah.
And even now, I've gotten a lot of compliments of, I want to look like you. You can't, because you don't got scoliosis.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just want y'all to know, I may appear hourglass, but I'm not.
Wow.
And when you constantly have, and I feel for the society and the people in it now, especially entering into their fitness journey, because we rush to try and get through the chapters.
Yeah.
And once I stopped comparing, that's when I was really able to focus
on you.
Yeah. Once I stopped comparing, and I remember the first day I walked into Planet Fitness, I got on the elliptical. I had on my sweatsuit and I did all of 2 minutes and was dying. I mean, I was out of breath. I was like, I know this can't be it. And I remember looking around, and there was this guy on the elliptical, and he was a pretty big guy. He looked like he was about 300 pounds and had been on that elliptical for 25 minutes. And I'm like, now why am I breathing for only after 2? My legs hurt, they're burning. And as I kept going, I remember I met a lady in the locker room, and I looked at her too, and I mean, she was going. I was like, well, what did you do to get here? And she's like, I just kept showing up. She was like, I could only do a couple minutes at first, and then I just stuck with those couple minutes until I can do 4 minutes. And then after those 4 minutes, I just started adding slowly. And I was like, okay, because I'm like, this is my first day walking in and I'm discouraged already. But I'm like, I don't want to quit because I'm paying for this.
Yeah.
So it's like when it comes to body dysmorphia, if we quit comparing and focus on what's in our own cup instead of somebody else's cup, your cup, you'll notice your cup will fill up.
Yeah.
And then after your cup fill up, it's going to be overflowing into another cup.
That's a real good way to put it. I love that analogy. Yeah.
Because it's even in our everyday life, you know, just like you said, fitness doesn't, it helps with your health, but it helps in other areas. I can't compare my journey to yours. You know, I don't know what you went through to get your degree. And I'm just starting out and I'm trying to hurry up and rush the process.
Right.
I don't know how many nights you had to study. I don't know how many of those nights you pulled an all-nighter. I don't know how many tests you failed and then had to retake to pass. Everything that we do has a purpose. And fitness plays a major role in our life purpose. Not just because you're uncomfortable and you don't like what you see, but you may lack discipline in not just your health, but you may lack discipline in your home life.
Exactly.
You may lack discipline in communication. And, fitness has taught me to set boundaries. It has taught me to not just think highly of myself and not be cocky about it. But even if I am cocky about it, I worked for this.
Exactly.
I worked for this. I put in the blood. I put in the sweat. I put in the tears. I put in I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
But I still kept going.
Yeah, exactly.
And anybody that has ever asked me for fitness advice, I'm like, you gotta get ready to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Man, you preach, it ain't even Sunday.
You got to be ready to be uncomfortable because your lack of discipline with your eating will show you every other area you lack discipline in. And that's something that I'm still learning.
Exactly. So and that's what I like to stress too. I love to stress the aspect that this is a lifestyle. It's not something that's going to just happen overnight. And it's never really going to end until the day you die. Because you're constantly dealing with those issues and those things. You're constantly waking up and making decisions. Your body is constantly going to be going through those changes along with the changes that you go through in life. I'm pretty sure, like, for instance, not to bring up or reimagine the memories, but in some sense with your grandmother passing, you know, I'm sure that you had moments or days where you just didn't fit, you know, you probably didn't feel like doing everything on that day, or feel like working out, or feel like pursuing certain things, or you probably didn't feel that motivated on that day. You were grieving, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you can talk about it.
That is not talked about. Grief and fitness. Grief and life.
Yeah.
Not talked about enough.
Talk about it. Go ahead. How did you deal with that? Yeah.
Well, honestly, I used it as an escape. Wow. And I mean, there were some days I straight cried through the workout.
Wow.
Like, I mean, shedding tears where I had to stop, boo-hoo. And I mean, I'm not a pretty crier. I'm an ugly crier.
Hey, me too.
Like, me listen, I am one of them criers that snot is running down my nose. I am that type of crier. And I'm okay with that. But dealing with grief and fitness, with, especially in the Black community, when somebody died, everybody bringing chicken.
Yeah.
Everybody bringing chicken. So in one mind, I'm like, okay, I'm still trying to stay on track with my goals. I'm still trying to stay on track with my nutrition, but then also being immediate family, the stress of
and it froze up again. Shanie, if you're still talking, hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay.
But the stress of actually having to plan a memorial service and still be there, family strife that may happen. And I'm like, I just want to go to the gym. I don't even want to be around y'all. I just want to go to the gym. It's not easy to deal with. Yeah. So I gained some water weight.
Yeah.
But it wasn't nothing that was like, it wasn't a big major weight gain or anything like that. But after everything was done, I'm like, I'm going to the gym.
Wow.
That's it. I'm going to the gym. I'm shutting everything off. I'm going to the gym, and I'm going to get back into my place that is stress-free.
Wow.
Because a lot of people don't understand that stress has a major impact on your body. Right. And, I've never been a bad sleeper. I love sleep. I will choose sleep over food and everything else any day. If I haven't had no nap, I'm not going.
Dang.
Like, and there are some people who can't sleep when they're stressed. Me. And there are some people who can't sleep when they're depressed. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I won't get up. I won't do nothing. I would rather sleep my day away.
I love that.
I'm like, I'm not about to let nothing interfere with my sleep.
With your sleep.
I just can't do it.
You're going to need to teach me how to do that.
dealing with grief and trying to, not only did I have to deal with my grief, but I had to deal with my daughter's grief, because my grandmother was there when my daughter was born. So they've literally been, she had her for 12 years. I had her for 30. So I had to put my grief aside to help her, still helping her. Yeah. And then I still had to put my grief aside to help my family.
Yeah.
So did I really get a chance to grieve like I wanted to? No.
Yeah.
But, as things are starting to progress, and, some days are better than others. Some days aren't. I take it and I feel it and I move on.
I love that. But you've come to learn how to embrace it, to realize that it's there.
I'm still working on that part.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I'm still working on that part. Mm-hmm. But I'm unlearning habits, no matter what they are, whether it's unlearning bad health habits, or unlearning habits that have just been passed down.
Yeah.
is a part of the process, because like I said, your fitness and your health and a lifestyle change will make you aware of other areas where you lack.